I'm into winning. And I've never been into a lot of the awards and stuff. But I like winning. Cam Newton doesn't win enough. Cam Newton doesn't win enough. He's never had back-to-back winning seasons, and he's not going to have one now. That's virtually impossible when you have his talent. Think about this. He's on a 6-game losing streak. The Raiders, the dysfunctional Raiders, haven't lost 6 straight games this year. The Buffalo Bills, rebuilding their entire offense with a rookie quarterback, haven't lost 6 straight games. The perpetually dysfunctional Tampa Bay Buccaneers haven't lost 6 straight games. Cam Newton's on a 6-game losing streak. In his career, Russell Wilson's longest losing streak is 2. Andrew Luck, bad coaches, bad GMs, bad O-lines, longest losing streak is 4. Big Ben, 4. Aaron Rodgers once lost 5, but that was his first year as a starter. Tom Brady's had a losing streak of 4. Even Andy Dalton and Kirk Cousins drive me nuts. They've never lost more than 4 straight. Well, he's hurt. Oh, Cam's always a victim. Oh, he's hurt. By the way, same head coach for years, continuity. He's had 8 offensive Pro Bowlers the last 7 years. McCaffrey will be 9. The defense has been in the top 10 5 of the last 7 years. He's on a 6-game losing streak. And by the way, they face Atlanta at home on a short week, and at New Orleans, it may become an 8-game losing streak. Cam Newton doesn't win enough. But you know what? It doesn't matter because Carolina is absolutely trapped. Carolina's become the Oklahoma City Thunder of the NFL. They have an iconic superstar in a small market who's hard to coach, doesn't play well with others. He's completely flawed, but he's got that 1 MVP year and 1 trip to the Super Bowl/finals, and they're trapped. And they're keeping him forever until the arm falls off. Carolina and Oklahoma City, small markets have never had the courage to move off the iconic, flawed superstar. Local fans would freak out in Oklahoma City. They would completely freak out. Privately, Oklahoma City will tell you they trust Paul George more late in games right now than they do Russell Westbrook. And they know Russell's hard to coach. And they know his style of basketball, which is he can't shoot, so he has to relentlessly, athletically drive to the basket, meaning more injuries, is not good long term. They had the best of him so far. He's eroding quickly. And privately, Oklahoma City knows it, but publicly, they'll put their arms around him because the fans would freak out. They've already lost Durant and James Harden. And similarly, privately, I know because I have it sourced for years. Cam Newton drives Carolina people nuts. But they're not going to say that publicly because it's a small market and he's an icon. And just like Paul George is more trustable now late than Westbrook, Christian McCaffrey's the guy that threw a touchdown pass last night. He's more trustable now late than Cam Newton. But they're trapped. I mean, if you look at Westbrook and you look at the 6 or 7 things that have happened to Westbrook, he can't shoot. That's undeniable. He's not a great shooter. He's a great scorer. He's aging, increasingly hurt, very expensive, tough to coach, and relies too much just on sheer athletic ability. That's Cam. In a precision analytics league, he's not really an accurate thrower. He's aging, increasingly hurt, very expensive, tough to coach, and relies too much on just sheer athletic ability. He's never gotten down the precision thing. And privately, both organizations know they're probably not a Super Bowl, probably not an NBA championship. Hard to play with. But they're trapped. They're trapped. I mean, last night was interesting because Carolina got the ball with 1:44 left, and I'm watching with my wife, and she says, oh, this reminds me of Brady and Ben the other day. I said, no, it doesn't. Carolina has no shot to score. This is not, against that Saints defense, you're not going to do it. And they got 1 first down. And this is the reality of it. This happens all the time in sports, and we never talk about this stuff. Is that certain markets restrict you. And you get to one of these Buffaloes and Carolina and Green Bay and Oklahoma City, and you get one of these Favre and Cam and Westbrooks, you are trapped. You are trapped. You cannot get rid of him. And that Russell Westbrook's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'd pay money to watch Russell Westbrook. I think he's fantastic. But now he's past his prime. Now he's expensive, hurt, tough to play with, hard to coach. And Paul George, I trust more down the stretch. And Cam Newton now is hurt more, expensive more, had more than enough support. Well, he's hurt. You notice when you rely on athletic ability, when you rely throwing the ball more on, mechanically arm than legs, yes, it's hard for that shoulder injury to heal. By the way, you criticize Westbrook, OKC fans go nuts. You can criticize Durant. I can criticize LeBron. My Twitter doesn't explode. I can criticize Brady. I can criticize Rodgers. I can criticize. You criticize Cam. People go nuts. OKC and Carolina, they're trapped. Westbrook and Cam are going to be there until the arms fall off.
What'd I tell you about getting in those mentions, Colin? I tried to tell you.
So let me shift to this. I'm not into awards. I'm not. But this year, NFL MVP has me intrigued. They do not give out the Oscars in Hollywood in January, February, March, April. Let me say it again. They don't give them out in the summer. They wait until the big movies come out in November, December. Then they wait for the big movies to come out in Hollywood. Then they give you the Oscars. They don't do it in April, May, June. Nobody's talking about that. College football always wants to hand out the Heisman by week 6. They're talking about it in October. I want to see Alabama play Georgia, Alabama play Auburn, Alabama in the SEC championship. Can we wait for the big games? In Hollywood, you wait for the big movies. In college football, can we wait to see Alabama actually play somebody not named Citadel? By the time Tua played in the biggest game against Georgia, he was the third best quarterback on the field. From Jalen Hurd, then Tua. So in the NFL, everybody's given the MVP award to Patrick Mahomes. Why? These are the biggest games. The other day, I was driving home and I was thinking, why are we giving Mahomes the MVP? If they lose to Seattle, in Seattle, in a driving rainstorm this weekend, I don't hate Patrick Mahomes, but he'll be 0-4 in his 4 biggest games. Valuable, most valuable. I'm not blaming him all for the losses, but I can't give the MVP to a guy that's 0-4 in his biggest games. Let's stop giving out awards in football halfway through seasons, 3 quarters through seasons. It's a week-to-week league. I mean, every week in this league, we're like, oh, I thought they were good. They're not. Should we have given the Rams a Super Bowl in week 7 because they look like it? The Rams were the best team in the league through 7 weeks. I sold them week 8. They were Bitcoin. Now they've crashed. Can we wait? Here's who I have for MVP right now. Most valuable player, Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, working with far less talent than Mahomes, in the last 2 weeks has ended a 9-game winning streak by the Texans with a better roster and thumped the Cowboys with a better roster. Phillip Rivers has a slight edge over Mahomes for second because he beat him in Kansas City. And he's won 10 of 11, and he's had 2 touchdowns in 14 of the 15 games. And their 2 biggest games of the year were at Pittsburgh, they won, and at Kansas City, and they won. And Patrick Mahomes has a lot of great stuff, but 0-4, 4 biggest games if they lose in Seattle. What's the hurry? What is the hurry? I don't understand this. The next 2 weeks, do you realize this week in the NFL, 14 of the 16 games have playoff implications? For the record, Kansas City won their division last year, and Patrick Mahomes didn't play in any big games. If they lose in Seattle, they'll be a wild card team. They will have stepped backwards. Come on. I can't give the MVP to that. I'm not going to give an Oscar out in June and July. I'm not going to give out the Heisman in week 6 because Bama beat Citadel by 90. December football games matter more. Let's let them play out. Right now, Luck, Phillip Rivers, and Patrick Mahomes. With 2 huge weekends left. 14 of the 16 games this weekend can decide playoff ramifications. What's the hurry? Luck is doing more with less and has won his biggest games with less talent around him. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.